I'm back. I'm so glad to be here. We are in Florida now, and I had a baby. So lots of things to catch up on when it comes to business, YouTube, what I've been up to, and what my future plans are for my business and my YouTube channel. As you might be able to tell, I have not set up my office. It's kind of echoey in here. I don't know where my microphone is. I'm using a different microphone that attaches to my computer, so I hope it's okay. I don't know where half the things from my office are, and my studio light bulbs broke in transit. So I am just winging it right now. I decided perfect is the enemy of getting it done. Thank you to those who reached out to me to wonder where I was and if I was coming back to record more videos. Yes, I am, and I will have my office set up eventually. I will have this, looking pretty. What you can't tell over there, this empty room is being used for storage. So we have a lot to do, but I want to tell you about my great Q3. I mean, it actually was pretty darn good, except for the fact that I got sick. I don't know if sick's the right word. I got unwell. The last couple of months of my pregnancy were really hard on my body, and I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do everything that I'd been doing because at that same time, client work ramped up. And so I really needed to focus on my many clients and my responsibilities to them. And therefore I had to cut way back on YouTube and social media and all the promotion that I had been doing. So I really had to prioritize. Baby number 6 came without a hitch. Yes, I said 6. We've got 3 girls and 3 boys now. And so I was no stranger to how to handle a newborn. I knew what to expect. What I did not expect was having to deal with my own health issues. I had a rough postpartum period. I had some health scares. So I really needed to take care of myself those first few weeks, in addition to taking care of a newborn who is now a month and a half old now, and taking care of our 5 other children, and, trying to buy a house, pack up to sell a house, get repairs done to sell a house, and moving logistics. Yeah, we're crazy. But all this while, client work was still going on, and I had to really rely on my team to do a lot of the work that I just could not do. A lot of really cool things, working on proposals, some really innovative technologies. I'm really impressed by some of the stuff that my clients think of. And then also working with a client on a super high-tech component to a satellite. When you think about satellites, you usually think about like the whole thing or what it's doing, what its purpose is. You don't necessarily think about all the little things that are in a satellite. So for me, learning a bit more about a particular component of a satellite and helping a client to figure out their expansion use case and then pairing them up with potential customers, that was pretty cool. Also during Q3, I helped out another market research firm that was doing a project on mega constellations for communications. And so they really needed my expertise to really fill them in because they were more financial. It was really cool to chat with them and help inform them about what the future of these mega constellations are. You think of Starlink, but there's so many others in the works and where that's all going. And then I worked with a Space Foundation again. They've been a client of mine for a couple of years now, a few years. And I helped them with training some really cool space startups. So that's been a really big area of growth I've noticed in the space sector as a whole, is training startups, helping them to find their customers, find their business plan, finally figure out their market, get funding. And so that's ongoing from Q3 and Q4. So I'm looking forward to the resolution of that in the coming weeks. I got to chat one-on-one with some of those companies, and that's really pretty cool to hear what their ideas are and how far along they are. And some of them are brand new startups, and some of them are companies that are already established but want to transition into space, which, not coincidentally is what my company Astrolytical does, is we help companies that are transitioning to space or growing in space in some way. Q3 really brought a lot of diversity of potential customer interest to me, companies that would have never thought. They approached us, and a lot of those didn't come to fruition or haven't come to fruition yet, but it was really cool to see the diversity of the companies that are wanting to grow in space because it is such a high growth area. Not all of space, but certain segments of space are really hot right now. And so really kind of fun to talk with these companies and figure out where they belong in the space sector. And so with all of that going on, I could not do YouTube. So forgive me for the radio silence here. I'm going to come back. I'm going to have my studio set. I'm going to have the proper lighting and the proper mics. And I'm going to take a little bit of a new approach when it comes to how I talked about the topics of the day. I am not going to be able to do 5 days a week like I had been. I'm going to hopefully ramp up to do that. I'll start it out a little bit slow and ramp it back up, because if you didn't catch that, I have a newborn baby and a house that is not unpacked yet. This is my third time living in Florida. I was from Pennsylvania and then moved down here for my undergrad at Florida Institute of Technology because of Kennedy Space Center and because of the beautiful weather and flora and fauna and the beaches. Like, I just fell in love with this place when I was 18 years old. And so coming back here is like coming back home, even though I was not born here, even though I was not raised here. But I spent a good part of my 20s in Florida. So I lived here for my undergrad university for 4 years, and then I moved away for my first graduate school, and then I moved back to Orlando originally, and then to the Space Coast again for my second graduate degree. And it was only because of my husband's career that we moved away in the first place. So I am thrilled to be back here in the beautiful Sunshine State, close to the beaches. I've been watching rocket launches from right here in my own yard, and it's been wonderful. Did I mention we have a pool? We have a pool. So yes, we are absolutely crazy, totally crazy for moving states, buying a house, fixing up a house to sell, and trying to sell a house while we have a newborn baby and 5 additional kids. So that has taken up so much of my time. I'm very grateful to be in this place. 10 years ago, this is what I wanted. This is what I was praying for, was just having this career that I love, the large family that my husband and I wanted, and also being back here on the Space Coast of Florida. Woo! Unfortunately, I did not realize in Q3 that I was undergoing a bit of an experiment where I was working with some clients and really pouring myself into a small group of clients that unfortunately would end up being drama filled. And that is still a little bit ongoing. I'm trying to wash my hands of it. I'm trying to put it in the past, but the drama keeps on coming. So you're going to have to wait a month or so until my Q4 update to hear what that drama happened to be. The benefit of being where I am in my business is that I'm not alone. I've got a team now. I've got people really helping me, and shout out to Heather, who has been amazing during this whole thing. I have joined the Florida office of my own company. My whole company is remote, and so people all over the United States. And I was the Atlanta office, and Heather was the Florida office, and now I've joined her and met her in person for the first time, even though she's been working for me for almost 2 years now. So that has been great. Really looking forward to doing more in-person networking, conference attending. I am apparently an influencer, although do not consider myself at all to be one. I actually laughed when I got that email, but a conference that being held in Orlando, Space Power Conference, that is going on in mid-December, and there is a discount code. I'll put it on the screen should you want to register if you're watching this in somewhat real time, and they have invited me to be an influencer for that conference, which just cracks me up even saying that. I'm going to have a blast at that conference. There are networking events here on the Space Coast for, just general networking and holidays that I'm looking forward to getting involved in, and really reconnecting with my people here. And I really consider the Space Coast to be my people. I sort of grew up here in my 20s, and this is home for me, like I said. So I'm really happy to be here, and I'm glad you all have stuck around too. We're going to be ramping this channel up. If you have any suggestions for anything I might want to tweak, I've gotten suggestions about like lighting and distance from the screen and those kinds of technical things, which I appreciate because I'm obviously still a beginner at this. But also, if you have suggestions about topics to cover, I really try to get the topics that are, front of mind. I'm so upset that I missed talking about the last Starship launch. I mean, I can go backwards and talk about it, sure, but like there are just certain things that I really want to talk to you all about because I've missed this so much. So I'm going to be setting up this office again. I'm going to get the audio and the lighting better. But thank you all for sticking with me.